Hi, I'm Penny the Angel.
Are you ready to be scared?
Hello, YouTube. This is Penny the Angelic Sweetheart here, and welcome to another episode of my brand new series called Frightful Fridays. And yes, there has not been an episode last week because I was lazy as hell, but no worries. At least you'll be able to enjoy this week's episode because I'm feeling much better. So yes, without further ado, let us go on with the episode, shall we? Okay, this first video that we're going to be reacting to this week is called 3 True Scary Stories by 1C Entertainment, and all credit goes to 1C Entertainment for their amazing horror animations. So without further ado, let's go ahead and watch this, shall we?
I'm in charge of sound editing and audio at one of the broadcasting stations, and this is what I experienced the other day. The inside of our editorial room used to get too dark and gloomy, especially at night, so there were a lot of people who said they saw ghosts there. After I joined this broadcasting station, I just laughed when I heard about it. Nah, who believes that? However, not long ago, I had to change my mind. The audio file and film would sometimes disappear every other day. Of course, I was scolded by my seniors because of it, so I worked until dawn to make up for my mistakes. The hallway in the editing room was pretty long, and there was a small warehouse inside the room on the far end of the hallway where the film was kept. Originally, only the people in charge could enter the room. However, for some reason, I kept hearing a squealing sound in the room that day. I guess someone's still working. While I was editing, I kept hearing that noise. Wondering who was inside, I got up from my seat, came out into the hallway, and opened the warehouse door slightly. And there was someone inside the room. A woman with disheveled hair was lying on the floor, attaching her stomach. She kept making grotesque sounds and crying. She was also frantically pulling out the tape from the film. The scariest part was the speed she was pulling the tape out. It didn't seem normal. It was abnormally fast, and her posture was she didn't just lie on her stomach. She didn't have a lower body. I ran away from the room screaming like crazy, and the next day I told my senior about this, and the senior who was listening quietly said this. After hearing it, I couldn't sleep at all. Maybe she was looking for the film she had appeared in.
Okay, that's great.
Well, let me tell you my story. I'm working as a police officer. I experienced something really incredible a while ago, but no one believed my story, so I'm here to tell you this. Not long ago, my team and I were dispatched on a mountain after receiving a report that there was a dead body there. While we were doing some research on the dead body, I went closer to it and started to check it out. It seemed like it hadn't been long since he died. And furthermore, his body's condition was really clean. I guess this man probably committed suicide. I was thinking that, but it was at that moment. Not yet. The dead man was staring at me, with his eyes slightly open, and I definitely saw him saying it based on the shape of his mouth. He's alive! I saw it! I screamed, grabbed the other cops, and shouted, but soon, I eventually got scolded by the chief, and he told me not to disturb the other cops. He also told me that the body's cardiac arrest was checked already. I soon became devastated. Did I not see it? Did I just witness something wrong? It turned out that it had been about 10 hours since he died, and the cause of his death was suicide. I started to tell another senior police officer. He listened carefully to what I was saying, and he finally said this. Well, sometimes there are people like you. You know, those types of people sometimes hear the last thing the dead wanted to say.
Really?
I just heard this from someone I know. One day, he got up as usual, and then he stared at his finger with a blank expression on his face. Why don't I have 6 fingers? Why do I have 5 fingers? Where's the other one? He started to have these kinds of thoughts out of nowhere. He was so worried, and he kept thinking about it on his way to work. And he was so scared when he came back home that he burst out crying. However, he eventually realized it only before he came home and was about to fall asleep. Oh, yes. I have 5 fingers, actually. A few days later, he posted about this on an online community. Well, of course, most people treated him like a crazy person or just laughed at him. In the meantime, a comment written by one person stuck deep in his mind. The anonymous commenter said he might have early-stage schizophrenia, and he asked him, what if he thought he had 4 fingers instead of 6 eventually? I got goosebumps when I heard that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, the fact that he broke his finger freaking got me. I don't know why that got me, but it did. Well, yeah, those are some pretty creepy stories. But that video was too short. But it was still good. Once the entertainment, as usual, you guys did a great job. So anyway, next video. Okay, this next video that we're going to be watching this week is called The Tall Man. And this was sent to me by my best friend Lego Gamer. So, huge shout out to him for sending me this. So, let's go ahead and start. I think I recognize her from somewhere, but I'm not sure. What in the actual hell? That's creepy. Dude, go get a weapon. Okay, yeah, that's pretty trippy. He plays all night and hides all day. The tall man is here, and he will stay. Wow. Wonder who did that. How did they get there? How the hell did they get there? Oh wow, I'd be so freaked out. And he's gonna be behind her. Or in the closet. Oh my gosh. Girl, you need to get out. I feel bad. She must be so scared. He's not gone. Don't do it. Don't open the door. And she opens the door. That's what they do in horror films, I swear. I freaking get the hell out of there. He's standing next to her. Oh shit. Okay. That was interesting. Good choice of a horror film, Lego. But honestly, it didn't like literally scare the crap out of me. You're gonna have to do a little better than that. Other than that, this was great. That was good. Anyway, next scary video. Okay, the last video that we are going to be watching this week is called 3 True Baby Monitor Horror Stories. And this video was uploaded by Mr. Nightmare, and all credit goes to Mr. Nightmare. Yeah, all credit goes to him. Go subscribe to him. Or her. I don't even know if it's an actual guy. Well, it says Mr., so it's probably a guy. Go subscribe. Period. So, without further ado, let's just go ahead and watch this, shall we? Ooh.
What you're about to hear is the scariest thing I'd ever experienced. My sister and her husband were going away to Hawaii for a week. So since I'm the second oldest, she asked me to watch my 2-year-old nephew Sean for the duration. 2 was a tricky age for me because Sean was still in diapers at the time, and changing diapers was the last thing I'd ever want to be doing. Still, family is family, and I had to return a favor to them anyway. I was sleeping.
I agree with that. Family is family. You gotta play your part. And just so you guys know, I'm gonna be an aunt soon, so I gotta play my part in the baby's life. Yes, I'm gonna be an aunt. Yay. But anyway, let's continue.
Sleeping in the guest bedroom upstairs for the duration, and by the third day I had everything down to a rhythm. Wake up, feed him, do my work in the living room while supervising him as he played, feeding him again, then putting him to bed. My sister has a high-tech baby monitor that connects to a touchscreen tablet. It records sound and video from above Sean's crib and feeds it to the tablet. I would keep that by my side while he slept, no matter where I was. The living room, the bedroom, anywhere. Midday most of the time he'd get sleepy and I'd bring him to his crib to take a nap. By like the fourth day, Sean was taking a nap, so I was in the backyard sitting at my sister's outdoor bar on my laptop. I had the baby monitor placed on the bar, so I was able to easily hear Sean start to laugh at something. I checked the tablet, and I saw him standing in his crib, so I guessed it was time to take him out. I went up to his room and grabbed him to bring him outside in the yard with me, where he drove around in his little electric toy car. For basically the rest of the day, I just watched Sean play with his toys while I would either be doing work on my laptop or just watching something on TV. Shortly after dinner time, I changed him one last time and put him into his crib. An hour or so passed, and there really wasn't much else for me to do. I wasn't interested in anything playing on TV, so I went upstairs to the guest bedroom to put an end to the night. Laying in bed in the dark, the room suddenly lit up from the tablet on the bedside table. I heard Sean laughing again. The tablet would light up if any significant amount of motion or sound was detected. I was comfortable in my position. I didn't really want to move. But when the screen suddenly went dark, yet I could still hear Sean's laughs, I got confused. I picked up the tablet, and all I saw was black. Yet, in a way, it seemed as though the screen was still on. I heard Sean say the word "yeah" as he continued laughing. Something wasn't right. I set the tablet down and began walking to Sean's room, calling his name as I was on my way. I got to his room, and he was standing in his crib. I asked him why he was awake and who he was talking to. He then tried reaching for something atop the crib, but his short arms couldn't reach it. It seemed he was going for the camera for the baby monitor. So I pointed at it and said, "Camera?" And he replied, "Yeah." I picked him up to give him a little lift to see what he was trying to do with the camera. And as I lifted him, he used his little thumb to cover the camera lens. My heart sank as I put the pieces together. The reason the tablet went dark was because it was being covered by someone, but I knew it wasn't Sean based on the fact that he couldn't reach it.
What?
"Sean, is someone in here?" I asked him, and in response he pointed to the closet. I picked him up and ran outside to the neighbor's house, pounding on the door screaming for help. An elderly woman answered, and she let me call the police with her phone. She was already clearly close with Sean, and because of that, she seemed a lot more comforting. Police showed up and said when they checked the upstairs closet, it was open, but no one was inside.
What?
The fact that it was open alone says everything. Someone was in Sean's closet that night. They must have made an escape when I took Sean and ran. The officers told me to stay at someone else's place for the night, and the elderly woman next door allowed us to sleep there. The next few nights after that, I watched Sean at my apartment. My sister and her husband cut the trip short, of course, after hearing the news.
Wow. Someone was literally in the house. Thank God. No harm came to that baby. Thank God. Anyway, let's continue.
I was a 10-year-old diabetic who lived on the second-story floor. My parents lived on the first floor. That night, my dad was watching a scary movie about aliens. The aliens took over the world and were controlling people with their minds. I was unable to sleep in the room that I shared with my sister that night, so instead I slept on the first-story floor with my parents. At that time, my parents were using a baby monitor to make sure I didn't need any help in the middle of the night to take care of my diabetes. Late that night, as my parents and I fell asleep, I heard my mother's voice over the baby monitor. She said, "Amanda, honey, come give me a kiss. I'm going to work." In a confused daze, I looked outside to see it was pitch black. That's weird, I go to myself. Isn't it too late for my mom to be going to work?
Yeah.
I rub the sleep out of my eyes as I make my way upstairs. The door to my sister's room cracks open, but my mom isn't in there. My sister is sound asleep on her bed, and the curtain just drifts open. I look around for my mom, but still can't find her. I make my way fast down the stairs and back into my parents' room, where my mom sat up and went, "What are you doing up?" I said, "Didn't you just ask me to come upstairs to give you a kiss goodbye?" She looks at me funny. "No, why would I say that?" she said. I looked at the baby monitor and said, "You didn't hear that?" She looked at me funny and says, "Go back to sleep." I lay on the floor shaking, thinking about what just happened.
That's really, really creepy.
In my teens and early 20s, I would babysit as my side hustle. I was always really good with toddlers and babies, and usually the parents of the really young ones would pay more. There was this one pair of kids named Lucas and Adriana. Lucas was 2 and Adriana was 7, though Adriana doesn't have much to do with this story, I'll just say that right now. Lucas didn't really speak much, though I was told he had only just turned 2 a few weeks ago at the time. After a long and stressful day of watching the kids, they went to sleep. I would be spending the night at this couple's house watching their kids while they were out in some beach town with friends or something. When the kids finally went to sleep, I had some peace and quiet and time to unwind, as watching the two of them was a lot. I lay in the living room watching a movie. The couple actually still had a baby monitor for Lucas's room, and they asked me to keep that in earshot when he went to sleep. I left it on the coffee table in the living room. Eventually, I ended up on a FaceTime call with my friend, and that ate away so much time that by the end of it, it was past 12. I went to sleep after that. Actually, I fell asleep pretty easily. The next thing I remember was the dream. A freaky, disturbing, messed up dream. Everyone knows dreams can be weird and grainy, so I can't describe verbatim what happened in this dream. But the best I can remember, I somehow had lost the baby monitor and Lucas was missing. After searching through this weird dream version of the couple's house, I found the baby monitor under the bed, and on the screen was Lucas's dead body. And upon seeing that, a deep voice kept saying, "This was your fault." I must have heard it like 3 times before I suddenly woke up. After realizing it was just a dream, I remembered the baby monitor. I left it on the coffee table downstairs, but before going down to get it, I figured I'd check Lucas's room first since it was closer anyway, and I saw he was fast asleep. After that, I went downstairs to get the device and went back up to the room I was staying in. I went back to sleep, but once again, I woke up sometime later. But this time, I woke up to the little monitor device beeping and the red light flashing. I picked it up, and on the screen was Lucas standing up looking directly into the camera. Not smiling or laughing, just looking dead set into the camera, his eyes glowing in the night vision. The way he was looking freaked me out. It was a cause for concern, so I rushed over to his room. But when I got to his room, he was fast asleep, lying on his back. I said his name a few times and lightly shook him, but he didn't wake up. I looked around the room, scared, feeling like there was another presence in there with us. I checked the closet and looked under the crib. No one. I went back to the other bedroom and looked at the monitor again. It showed Lucas laying flat in his crib. I turned it off for the night, but I didn't sleep as easily after that. To this day, I still don't understand that dream I had, or if it was some kind of warning, and I don't know what exactly I was seeing on that baby monitor screen. I just don't know what to believe was actually real.
That was creepy. That was very creepy. Okay, that tops off, this week's Frightful Fridays. Anyway, there you guys go. I hope you guys enjoyed this, episode of Frightful Fridays. And then again, I am so sorry that I did not come out with an episode last week. I was feeling very lazy and didn't feel like filming and reacting to blah blah. But I hope that this episode also kind of makes up for that. And I also hope that you also enjoyed my interview with my sister Poison Ivy Games on her paranormal experiences. And speaking of paranormal, if you guys want me to react to some ghost videos next week, let me know in the comments and tweet me what videos you want me to react to. And follow my Instagram DeviantArt and follow my Twitch. I stream art, speed paint drawings, and I also stream games on there whenever I feel like it. And if you guys want to watch my Five Nights at Freddy's stream, it's also on YouTube. Go ahead and watch those. And I will see you all next week. Stay spooky!